Shalom, all praise to the Most High, whose name is Yahweh, in the name of his Son, which is Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of the nation of Israel, who have been set up by the Spirit of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, better known as the Great Millstone. Salutations to the elect, to the 1/3, and the 144,000. Death to 2/3 and all the wicked. Doesn't matter at the end of the day if we're teaching different doctrines as Israelites. It doesn't matter because Esau is going to come down on everybody anyway. The answer is yes, it does matter, man. Absolutely it matters what doctrine you're living, what you're teaching. It matters very much so. And a lot of these groups are trying to say, and they believe that it doesn't matter. And that's why they hold these unity camps. And that's why they come against brothers known as the Great Millstone. They come against the work that we're supposed to do, man. You know? You have a lot of them that want to be politically correct, that want to line their own pockets, that just want more views or members, or that are trying to get at women. Basically, they're filling their own bellies and not the belly of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. Okay? So, let's start here in John the 10th chapter, verse 1. Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that entereth not by the door into the sheepfold, but climbeth up some other way, the same is a thief and a robber. And so, coming into this, okay, there's only one path, one way that you need to walk into this, man. Yahweh Shai, he didn't set up for there to be multiple doctrines and multiple teachings. Okay? Because you had people doing things for the commandments and the eye service of men, alright? And then you had those that were actually following Yahweh Shai. And then you had those that would follow Yahweh Shai to serve their own belly. The free meal, the entertainment, things of that nature, you see? So that didn't work out then, it's not going to work out now. Alright, verse 2. But he that entereth in by the door is the shepherd of the sheep. Okay? Now, a lot of times you're going to see the scriptures talking about, a straight path, meaning difficult, or narrow, okay, meaning that there's not multiple ways, there's not more than one way to skin a cat when it comes to this truth. Okay, there's only one way. There's only one way, man. There's one name, okay, one faith, one body, one baptism. There's not multiple. Okay, it says, verse 3, to him the porter openeth, and the sheep hear his voice, and he calleth his own sheep by name, and leadeth them out. You see that? So, he that entereth in by the door is the shepherd of the sheep. Now, here in verse 2 it says, to him the porter openeth. A porter is a door guard. Okay, that's what a porter is. He's you could compare it to like a bouncer at a club. Are you on the list? Oh, who are you here with? So if you're the shepherd, maybe you're running late, and all your friends, your crew's there, whatever, right? You're gonna know them all by name, are you not? Entering into a building at work, hey, it's my first day. They're like, oh yeah, who are you with? And if you say the wrong staffing agency or the wrong person that hired you on, you'd be like, oh, I spoke to so-and-so, told me to be here. And then, check in with whoever was at the door. And then whatever, blah, blah, blah. You see? So the porter will open it up to that shepherd, and that shepherd, you're going to know him by name and lead them out. You see? So a lot of people don't a lot of these other camps, they're just doing their own thing, man. They're not in order, and that's what this is highlighting. This is highlighting an order that you ought to be in, that you need to be in. You see? This is an order that needs to be in effect. Okay, verse 4, and when he putteth forth his own sheep, he goeth before them, and the sheep follow him, for they know his voice. See, so that's order. They get in order. They know who their master is. Like scripture says, the ass knoweth his owner, and the ox his master's crib, but Israel doth not know. Israel, they don't consider. So our people, they don't know what to follow, and they think it's okay to follow anything. Not knowing, or even just not believing, not given the gift of belief that the Spirit has set up men in order to follow after. And Paul was the same case. Paul said it, he said, be ye followers of me, even as I am of Yahushua. Was Paul not a sheep? Yes, he was. Was he a shepherd at the same time? Yes, he was. So he was getting sheep in order behind him. But he himself was as a sheep following the footsteps of the true shepherd, Yahushua. Because Yahushua is leading us back to the Heavenly Father. How can you get to him unless you go through Yahushua? That's the door, man. You have to get to the door. And when you get to the door, you got to know the name. You got to be in order. You got to behave properly. So yeah, Esau, he can come after all of us. And that's where it's going to matter what doctrine you're teaching. Because you can be out there teaching. Yahushua said it. He said a lot of guys are going to be, didn't we teach in your name? Cast out devils, prophesy, do miracles, all this stuff. He'd be like, yeah, so what the fuck? I never knew you. Be gone, you workers of iniquity, man. Because you're filling your own bellies, man. You're filling your own fucking belly. And hey, look, this content isn't for children, man. This is for a mature audience. I gotta say that, Now you gotta say that when it should have been obvious, but welcome to the world of wickedness. Well, I guess we're taking that one, aren't we? Being the semi. Alright. Okay. Verse 5, and the stranger will they not follow, but will flee from him, for they know not the voice of strangers. It's just like animals. I could come home in the dark, right? And they know my voice. The animals, they'll know your voice. And then you try to, say you go over to a friend's house, and he's got animals, and you're talking loud or whatever, and, the animal's asleep. They're startled. They hear some unfamiliar sound. So what are they going to do? They're going to start barking, as they're supposed to. They're doing their job, you see. And then when the master gives them command, they'll follow that command, They're like, oh, okay, master's here. All right. And they'll chill out, you see. But they're not going to follow the voice of strangers. Now, I saw this clip of, or a post, because you got General Yohana, he's always, anything to get in the limelight and, big shit up. But you had a female comment that just, it's like, man, people are really, this is how you know it's the power of the Most High, that he's made people blind, man. Because even the woman is like, how do you guys not see, how can you not tell that this so-called General Yohana is a fake, and he's switching up in front of the media. He'll say this and do that and say we're supposed to act this way and that way, and then he just turns into just a soft-hearted ass dude, man, pulling out no scripture. There's no sign of life or zeal in him for Yahushua, and he really thinks that he is somebody, man. He really thinks he's somebody. It's all right though, he ain't shit. And a lot of people that follow that guy, they're gonna find out in that day when Edom comes to roll out. You weren't given the faith and the gift to escape Edom. you're not going to receive that grace and that mercy, man. Okay? The time is drawing to its end of dealing with bullshit, man. This is it. We're at the end for a lot of this stuff. We're not going to see it as rampant as it used to be, man. We're not going to see, okay, all these freedoms that you were enjoying, thinking that, you're just going to be able to live in America forever without hardship, and then all of a sudden, boom, chariots. Now you're going to have to go through some things, man. You're going to get plagued in ways that are going to hurt you. You're going to be hurt coming into this truth, man. Because that's a test. People will be taken away from you. And that's to see, are you going to break? A lot of people, they don't get what they want, and then they leave. You might ask yourself, oh, whatever happened to this guy, so-and-so? Or this person, so-and-so? Oh, man, they quit, or they fell out, Like, I don't know. I speculate this, but who knows? But, yeah, they lost it. They're not doing nothing no more, man. They never wanted to reach out and be part of the body, but they wanted to cheerlead or this or that or whatever the case. A lot of these guys that act improper, that don't know how to act accordingly. And I'm using that word act loosely. I'm not saying act as, you're putting on a fucking show. Because there's a lot of guys out there that'll put on a show, but you're not going to fool the porter, man. You're not going to fool the porter, and you're not going to fool the shepherd. You can fool the sheep. You can fool the rest of us. But you're not going to fool the porter, and you're not going to fool the shepherd. And Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is giving eyes to brothers to be able to see other sheep that are not in line and have moved them out in the way. You see? So, anyway, with that, I'm going to wrap it up and say Shalom.